Another major issue you're dealing with right now is absenteeism.
Student absenteeism is chronic. That's a term applied by the State Education Department, but there's no better descriptor. In the post-COVID era, school attendance has waned to an alarming degree. And it doesn't, in my experience, seem to be that all students are missing somewhat more days. It's that some students and some families are missing a very alarming number of days. So acute instances of student absenteeism, and that's a real challenge. There's an argument to be made for the fact that student chronic absenteeism is the greatest challenge facing public education in this nation right now. Absenteeism rates are alarmingly high. I do believe that has roots in COVID. When school went remote, there was perhaps a belief formed with some people, some families, that school is more optional than it had been considered in the past. I also think that what we saw was the inability for parents and students of a certain age to develop the sorts of routines and expectations that would lead to school attendance with fidelity down the road. So bedtime, time to get up in the morning, at what time people eat meals. When you're home all day long, I think some of these norms became blurred. Whatever the reasoning, school attendance nationwide is a real challenge. And it's not just that students are missing out on the learning that takes place in schools. I actually think that teachers, school systems have done a tremendous job overcoming the learning loss which we all suffered post-COVID. It's that schools, more than ever before, are the locus of social services. We spoke at some length about access to free meals. If you're not in school, not only are you missing the quality instruction that takes place in school, you're also missing out on a free breakfast, a free lunch, access to a psychologist or a school counselor, your physical therapy, your occupational therapy, your speech therapy, social connections with students, positive connections with role models such as teachers. The list goes on about the reasons why not being in school is detrimental. We have debuted some solutions. They have yielded some success, but I will admit this is a challenging issue. Trying to partner with parents and families to ensure better school attendance for all those many reasons I outlined, that's perhaps which causes me the most concern in this moment.
A lot more than just the students falling behind.
Right. Academic, we have shown, in fact, because all students, and these are not all students in Plattsburgh or all students in New York, globally, it was a global pandemic, all students suffered learning loss during the pandemic. I do believe great gains have been made in addressing that. It's that plus those other connections and services which they miss when they're not in school.
Solutions? Are you
Well, that's the hardest
desperately
part.
trying to find some?
We have tried some grassroots level solutions. We have had a modicum of success in improving attendance through things like, you may have heard about our Dino Walk or Dinosaur Walk, where it's basically a reward, an incentive, a fun encouragement for students to want to come to school on certain days by attributing fanfare, attaching fanfare to it. I believe that social services agencies are overwhelmed these days. I believe that whereas there used to be greater focus on tackling educational neglect on the part of social services agencies, there's a greater focus now, understandably, on perhaps even bigger issues like drug use, substance abuse in the home, incarceration, homelessness. These are real social ailments that perhaps have distracted from educational neglect, which is what non-attendance is. There's a lot of challenges and unfortunately too few solutions. So we're working on some parent education about the importance of school attendance, regular school attendance. We've incentivized it through some of those special and fun programs. But our latitude is not as broad as I might have hoped, and I think this is a frustration shared by school administrators everywhere.